Hi guys, welcome to the garden. Today I'm going to be showing you how I go about planting my blueberries into pots in order to set them up for success and fingers crossed give me some more delicious berries. So let's get started then. The first one and the most obvious one that you're going to need is your blueberry plant. And for us that was actually supposed to be this variety over here called Jersey because it's getting a little bit too big for that pot and I could have done with, let's say, giving it a little bit of an upgrade in terms of space. But as you do when you go to garden centres, there is always a distraction and a potential purchase waiting to be made. And so I did end up actually coming back with another blueberry plant. This one, this pink lemonade variety, so pink berries instead of blue. This has been on my hit list for some of the plants that I want to add to the garden. And when it was 50% off and already reduced, for £8 for this healthy looking plant, I thought it was an absolute steal. So we're actually going to be potting up this one today. So the next thing that you're going to need is an appropriate pot. So today I'm going to be planting our blueberry plant into this lovely hexagonal planter over here. And when it comes to pot sizes for blueberries, realistically, you're going to need a pot that is at least 30 to 40 centimeters in diameter. Anything smaller than that, just like this Jersey here that was placed in that pot for a temporary measure, you're going to need to upgrade it and increase the pot size in the years to come when the plant starts to get a little bit more mature. So something like this hexagonal planter that is 50 centimeters across in its widest point is going to be more than ideal for our plant. This next one is incredibly important that you get right, and that is the soil medium that you intend to grow your blueberry plants in. So blueberries, they are acid-loving plants, and as such, they require soil that is a pH of around 4.5 to 5. So with pots, this is really easy to achieve because we can just straight up use a medium that already has an acidic pH. So if your gardens are like mine, our soil is actually slightly alkaline, so I don't bother even planting blueberry plants directly in the ground because otherwise I'm fighting a losing battle, constantly trying to lower that pH. So fortunately for us, you can actually buy specific soil, which is known as ericaceous compost, which already has a low pH. And this will be more than ideal for our blueberry plants. So in addition to our ericaceous compost, there is actually one further soil amendment that I'll be adding to our pot. And that is something called elemental sulfur, which has this lovely natural yellow colour. So the reason why I add this is because the microbes, the bacteria that is found naturally within the soil will convert that sulfur gradually into something called sulfuric acid. And it's that sulfuric acid which is going to help maintain that low acidic pH just to ensure that blueberry has the best chance of thriving. So I'm only going to add a little bit now because the soil microbial activity is getting less and less now our temperatures are dropping. But when it comes to spring, I'll be adding a few bits more just to ensure that the plant has a nice boost ready for the next growing season. And the last thing that I'm going to need is some mulch, which is going to be, in this case, some oak wood chips. So let's get to planting. So when it comes to planting your blueberry, you want to make sure that the soil level that it currently has in its existing pot is the same as when it's placed in the new pot. So what I like to do is I like to place the plant down in the pot, try and eyeball roughly how high I need to initially fill it before placing that root ball down. That looks about a third of the way for us. Brilliant, that looks about spot on. Now that the soil is at a level that it should be at the correct planting depth, when I remove the pot, I will actually keep the pot in for this next part. And this is just a little tip I've learned from a few gardeners that I've been watching. And what this does is it means that we have a perfect sized hole to be placing our plant into. I need just a little bit more. So now that everything's looking level, if I simply remove this plant very carefully, it will leave a perfect sized hole. I can simply take this pot off and then plop it into afterwards. So in order to remove the pot, all you should do is give it a gentle squeeze around the base of the pot. And the plant should, if you pull gently, depends how root bound it is, lift free, just like so. Now all you've got to do is place it in that perfectly shaped hole you've just created. just put it at the angle that you think is best. And look at that for a fit. And then just brush over the existing soil to merge the two together. And like I said, just because I want to make sure this pH is correct, I'm going to add a little pinch of those sulfur chips, which I'll then top up with in the spring. It is worth noting that if your blueberry plant has a lot larger root system than the plant I've shown you today, and start becoming quite root bound in the pot that it's come in and forming circular rings of roots at the base of the pot, then it would be more than worth teasing out the roots and ensuring that when they are placed into the new pot, they start spreading out and don't coil at the base of the plant. This is just going to improve access to nutrients and ensure the blueberry plant has the best chance at growing successfully. Happy with that soil level? I'm going to go and add our mulch now. So in terms of the mulch that I'm adding to this plant, I'm using blended up oak wood chips, which I'm very lucky because my grandma had a massive oak tree that she needed to reduce in size so she could actually have some sun in her garden. And when the arborist finished chopping it down, blended it all up, and we actually got to keep probably about a ton's worth of these wood chips. And you'd be amazing, but we are both quite avid gardeners, so we've actually almost used a lot. So I'm gonna have to start paying for this myself, or finding some other arborists that I can borrow it from. So in terms of adding the mulch, the reason why I use it is not only do I think it looks quite aesthetically pleasing, is it will help maintain the moisture levels in the soil. It will prevent any weeds taking a footing, and it will also provide some insulation to the roots over winter. So I add about an inch layer, because in spring I am going to peel this back so I can add some more sulfur chips and also some blood, fish and bone, which is something I've just left out at the moment, which is a type of fertilizer, because now that we're entering the dormant season and we're in the end of autumn, the plants aren't really going to need or use that. So I don't want that fertilizer just being washed away and wasted. So I'll add some blood, fish and bone come spring. And then this plant, fingers crossed, may even give us some blueberries in the first year after planting. So the last thing you should do is give it a water. But if you've got a big pot like mine and you intend on moving it, I would move it to its final spot, just like here, nice 6 hours of sun before watering in, because believe me, they can get pretty heavy. So when it comes to watering, final tip, if you can, we've got a water butt that is used exclusively on our blueberries, because rainwater is ever so slightly acidic and will just help maintain that pH. Otherwise, I hope you found this video useful and it can help you get the confidence to planting some lovely berries yourself. If you'd like to check out some more blueberry growing tips, then click the video to the right of me. Otherwise, all the best.